Howdy, my autistic Americans. Hopefully, I had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. Nevertheless, today's subject matter: water. Bit of disclaimer: this is my opinion. This is how I perceive water containment, and this is me just showing basic pros and cons. However, there are many people out there who done videos like this and are way more experienced and skilled than I am. One, due to timing; two, due to their career paths and all that. But nevertheless, it's my opinion. Have a comment, send it, I'll reply. Anyways, great little thing. What makes that water so valuable? Well, one, you cannot go more than 3 days without it. And it's 7 pounds to the gallon, which makes it rough. Now, we take this for granted in the US and a lot of other nations because industrial water purification systems allow us to have clean water everywhere, every day. All right, so keeps at a low price, but in a situation where that's not going to be the case, water's valuable. It's extremely valuable, and I can't make it any more apparent than that. So yeah, now what makes it tricky in these kind of situations is that weight, that 7 pounds, and keeping it purified, because water does go bad in certain containment units over time, but it's very easy to clean them again. And that containment, keeping them contained, and trying to keep a surplus of water. All right, so I'm gonna go over those later on. Nevertheless, I'm gonna start off. One thing of purifying water, which I don't have it. All right. So iodine tablets, that's one big one. I enjoy the mess out of them. They are very easy to get. You get about 50 tablets. For at least the ones I buy, it gets you about 6 gallons of water. It's great. You can put them everywhere. You can buy a lot of them. You will get the taste of iodine. However, they do make I forget what they call it, but basically what it does, it takes the flavor out of the iodine, but in a con of doing that, you get no flavor at all in the water, so it's weird in that way. But if you want to get the iodine flavor out, you can do that. Nevertheless, that's something I'm bringing in. Because iodine tablets are extremely useful for all water sources, and especially for water sources like plastic canteens and water bottles that you can't boil water in, or even water sources that have batteries on the bottom of them. I like the mess out of this canteen, but I don't bring it out into the woods with me because you can't boil water in it because I got a lithium battery on the bottom. And sure, I could take it off, but it wrecks it, so it's not meant for survival use. Adds a con to that kind of system, and same with these. You can't boil water on these. Though you can distill or boil water through a pot, let it cool and pour it in, but still that's extra gear, extra equipment you gotta have on hand. However, you get over to one of these, all right, metal canteens, you can boil water in. Just for those of you who are watching this, who are trying to, see what's out there, or want a second opinion, just remember, take the lid off before you boil water, especially in a survival situation, because 3rd-degree burns will one, ruin your day, and two, could mean the matters of not going home or not. So keep that in mind. And the reason I say 3rd-degree burns is infection. Infection will take you out quicker than anything. And that's one thing I'm going to get into is with water, you keep it clean, keep it going. Keep it clean, because dysentery in a survival situation, especially without antidiuretics or Pepto-Bismol, this will wreck you. It really will. So yeah, keep that in account. Now, one little thing I will go over a tidbit about these canteens is, compared to the next item I'm about to show, the one pro I do enjoy about them is they're very easy to clean and keep clean and maintain. and all that. And I guess I can show you because it's just right here. How I utilize canteens is I utilize them for small, short, little things. I'm not even gonna be out there for more than not even half the day. I'll throw a canteen on like my hunting belt. I'll go on there, and I have water on me and a bunch of other mess. Because I prefer the belt just because it drops down on my bulkiness and keeps me from having to fight brush and briars as much. Continue on from there. Great water source that I enjoy a lot, especially when you're when you're working in a really hot environment, or you're just going to be gone for several days, is a water bladder. Now, something interesting on this water bladder, you see, this is a little bit of a makeshift thing I did. Bought a water filter and literally just cut the line and shoved it on there. What this allows is I can basically take this, dunk it under a river or stream or whatnot, fill it up right quick, and move. It's 5-10 seconds and I have water, and it's clean water once it goes through that filter. It's dirty water in the bag, clean through the filter. I keep a spare one in my assault pack because I don't want to be contaminating and sharing purified and contaminated water together. So I keep them separated. Granted, I have a filter, but still. That's a great little thing. The only con I have with water bladders and stuff, which I'll bring back up, and you do see that there is little droplets still in there from not that long ago use. I try to keep these dry, but they are a pain to keep clean. But you make do what you can. They are worth the maintenance. They are also not as durable as most water bottles. They're easy to puncture, so you have to have like shoe gel or Black Steak does pretty well, and a couple other items to seal up them pinholes and stuff if your water bladder is leaking. So that's one big one. Another one, and this is me trying to get into a different system of an idea. So like that water bladder I showed you, that's for like, okay, we're gonna be out there for a couple of days and there's gonna be nothing but movement. We're really not chilling anywhere. Now, for if I'm going up camping, I can chill, or in my location I wanna be in a survival situation, I have one of these. And what this is basically a largemouth water bladder that I can just take, scoop up 1.5 gallons of water and carry it off. Granted, that is 11 pounds just thrown straight into my pack and is heavy, but it is worth it. And then I can take that and either A, drink through the straw with a filter on it, or let it run through via gravity, being a gravity filter. Great thing about a gravity filter is in a non-combative state, or you're just chilling somewhere like a home base or some kind of HQ, I can literally create a surplus of water by having one of those and having everybody around me have one of those. And every day you fill up 1.5 gallons of water and you're only going to use about 1 gallon of it. So you have 0.5 gallon left. And so that's 0.5 gallon every day. So that's 0.5 gallon, gallon and a half, 2 gallon, 2.5, 3 gallons, and so on and so forth as needed, while meanwhile doing patrols, cutting firewood, doing whatever needs to be done around the AO, outside the wire. And we're not disturbed by trying to manually filter water. That's a great help. It clears up a lot of workspace and time. A couple things I don't have, mainly because I don't see a use in them. One is life straws. Life straws are better than nothing. But in a survival sense, camping sense is not so bad, but in a survival sense, and I can show y'all with this rifle I brought. So I'm clear. Alright. Is, let's say you're out in the woods and you're moving and you need to get some water. Well, you only got a life straw and a water bottle, alright? Well, one, you can't run a light straw through hoses and all that, and you can't really gravity filter them. So you kind of just stuck to my hands. I have came out of a combat ready to completely unsecured, and I have no 360 visual. And because that water runs, because it follows gravity and the least resistance, I'm at the lowest point in that little area, which means everybody's got an overhead on me and can come down on top. It's a very bad situation to be in. It's a very rough place to be in survival situations at all times. That's why I don't like them, is they are extremely dangerous in a survival sense, where you have other people with weapons and you have other people out there looking for you, or not even just looking for you, just chilling around. And well, water is the most valuable thing, and you now have a life straw, so that's a risk. But it's better than nothing, nevertheless. But you have that issue. Now, another one is the manual pumps to pump water. I don't like those because of the gravity filters, is because you have someone literally there pumping water from a water source into a bag. And now granted, it's already purified when it does that, but you're pumping water from one point to the other and you're sitting out there. It means you took two people, because you have to have one person pumping, one person pulling security, and then you have to carry all that back. So you wasted a lot of time. You took two people that could be doing other things into that environment, risked their lives to go pump your water, when you could have like this, walk out there, scoop up some water, go home, and then attach a straw and let it sit there and gravity filter into a 55-gallon drum that you can seal later that night or something. Or even better, you pick up this and everybody just got one of these. It's your waste. That's a waste of time and survival when you're against the clock, especially in my sense, because this is like a nuclear thing. Nuclear is the worst case scenario. You have about 2 weeks to get as much purified water as humanly possible. And that's before radioactive fallout comes down. Now, granted, with potassium iodine and a bunch of other things, and I'm going to get into that in a different video that I got to plan out. But yeah, potassium iodines and all that, you can get around a couple issues, but that nuclear fallout's gonna wreck you. So, yeah. That's just kind of what I got in mind. Showcasing and talking about is the pros and cons of all that. A couple pros I didn't go over with the water bladder. Granted, it's common sense, but you can either throw it in, let's say you just need water and maybe a small pouch or two. All right, water bladder, great. All right, holds your water. You can throw a pouch back there. You can tote some small stuff. All right, it's fast, it's agile, it's lightweight. You're only probably toting 4 to 5 pounds in water. You're toting another 3 pounds in gear. With your chest rig and belts and all that mess, you're probably taking a little bit higher than that, but very rapid, very lightweight for when you're not needing much stuff. But when you do need a bunch of stuff, water bladders come in handy. It's a salt pack. You throw it up in these little pouches and leave it alone. You can carry an extra one if you need extra water, and you ain't gonna find any soon or stop for any soon. You have that option. All right. That's a big one on me, is that. And that's kind of about it. Well, I do got one. Your homemade water filters, which there's a photo of one right there to kind of show how you build them. That's just a concept. And all they really do is, if you don't have access to a filter, you can make a filter. And I suggest like a big one, especially with those DIY filters, is that looks simple, but it's really not at the same time, because it is taking a little bit of time to do, but it's worth it. Because you don't want dysentery, you don't want diseases and bacterial infections from contaminated water. You don't want radioactive particles if a nuclear exchange happens, you don't want these in your water. These will pud you down and pud you in a coffin. That is something that is like deemed necessary. You have no choice but to have purified water. All right, especially in the short time span you can live without it. All right, and that's me getting on that serious note. But outside of that, nothing really. But that kind of just wraps it up. For those of y'all who have comments, your own opinion that you want to shout out, anything I missed, throw it down in comments. If you're watching it and you know some things. If you're just watching this just to see what is an actual good option, good for you. If you're watching it for a second opinion, well, there's your opinion. And that's about it. So I'm gonna say, yeah, y'all stay frosty. Good hunting.